Hello everybody, midday in the UK, really hot. So I'm staying in today. This is a little story about, I think it's a story of encouragement about how I personally have survived. Now I'm in my 70s now, as you can tell. Wearing contacts today, bags or not. Thought I'd give them a go. And it's a little story about how I've survived the last 30 years. I left my husband 30 years ago, and I think it's a story of encouragement because I've had to find out by trial and error how to survive alone without any help whatsoever. And that is true. I've never had help, physical help or emotional help really, except I have one odd girlfriend every now and then who supported me on telephone. So I feel quite triumphant today because I woke up this morning absolutely full of pain and a hot day, and I thought, I'm out of bread and milk. I've got to go and get it. The local shop may deliver it, but not just one or two items. I thought, I've got to do it. I've got to take a parcel in. So my usual thing is I always meditate a little bit, and I'm talking to God all the time. Who else is there? And so I have this little affirmation. I always visualise what I want and say I'm going to get it. To save queuing, I can't stand for long. I can't queue, and I have a little affirmation. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now I know what that means. I have this theory that you can't just have faith and trust in something. You have to work on it. You have to build it. And it has to be experienced. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, have faith. Well, you can't just have faith. You've got to work at it and you've got to practice it. And then you've got to remember, oh, yes, that's because I said I could do this or, on my own, not on my own. And I have always had help. And really it is about the light within. The strength is within. I mean, we've got physical bodies, but really, at the end of the day, what is it that keeps the physical body going? People tend to forget this. I mean, there's a body, emotional, mental, and the spiritual. And I do get frustrated. You can imagine. I see crowds of people. I think and all the stuff on television and the papers. You rarely see the word spirit. That's the only thing that really matters, because it's the only thing that at the end of the day that exists. That's the thing that goes on. That's the thing that keeps us breathing. This blood circulation, and without that, you wouldn't survive. So it's a question of, I don't know, acknowledging that. And there are so many ways of doing it. I mean, people have their own personal preferences, but for me, it's like, I think my last 30 years, I left my husband when I was 46. No easy task, because I hadn't got any money, and my daughter decided not to come with me. Fine, I went into a flat, a cold, unfurnished flat, with 6 male students living above, and it's been a saga ever since. I've had 10 house moves. House move sometimes some house move every year. Depends who wants me. Landlords not terribly good at keeping you too long with short hold tenancies. So I've moved on. Furniture and stuff are all on my own, having to book furniture removals and stuff. You know what it's like moving home. But I've done it so many times. I mean, it's been in good therapy. They say when you change your consciousness, you do move home. But unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what it means, but I've always seemed to move into a worse home. I started off with a lovely semi-detached with my husband and daughter, central heating and all that, and I suddenly found myself thrust into this flat. It was a disgrace, really. No heating, no hot water, students above. And everyone's been slightly similar, but very difficult and very lonely. And you can imagine the life I've led, really, with no money. Money ran out very quickly. So I've had to rent. I've had bankruptcy. I've had the death of my parents. I've had the death of a lover. I've had illness. Well, I think the illness is a result of the continued stress. So it's a question of, when you're going through all that and you have no one to call on, literally no one, family, I don't have a family, you have to find the resource from within. That's the only place to go. And I think loneliness is a good lesson for that, and so is illness, and so is pain and suffering. I've just begun to think about this pain and suffering thing. I'm thinking, why do I have to have so much pain? I mean, from the time I got here, the walking bit, I had pain. Operations and anaesthetics and antibiotics and things removed, and we all have, I know we all have problems, but I don't, for some reason, I think in my day, there were no antibiotics, there was no national health even, so it was a bit of a struggle to actually survive. And I have survived. And I'm thinking, well, how does that come about? And I have had a lot, obviously, quite a strong spiritual connection, but faith I've had to work at. I haven't found it very easy to trust. And my daughter, when she was about 12, said, "Mummy," she said, "your job in this life is to find faith." And she was right. And it's the hardest thing. And faith is really about trust and trusting in the unknown. Because I mean, even now, I can say, well, yeah, I've got all that faith and trust, but it might not be. It might not be meant to be. I still go this dichotomy of not knowing whether I can or can't. And yet we're supposed to be in the fifth dimension where we can manifest anything. So I have this paradox between, yes, I know all that in theory, but is it meant to be for me? And I do think, I'm diversifying a bit here, but I do think that if I have chosen something from my soul level before I came, then know how to manifest and will make it happen. And I do think I've had to learn about money. Everyone's ripped me off by thousands of pounds. I'm sitting here, I don't have anything. I don't have money. I live on charity, really, on my pension and the government and all that. I might look fine. Everyone thinks I've got loads of money. I make a good impression. But that's because I've learned how to do that. You know, I've learned a lot of lessons. Perhaps I should write a book about all this. I don't know. I've written a book about woman alone, how to manage alone, but that was 20 years ago, but lots happened since then. So I thought, manifest money, how do I do that? And I thought, no, I have chosen in this lifetime to not have it, to understand the value of it, to do without. I think perhaps I was the princess, the queen in France who let them eat cake. No, I've never said that, but I don't think I've had a lot of tolerance of poverty. So I've had to learn to really live on one slice of bread a day, and there have been times I've had to do that. I've run out of food. I've never starved. I've always managed to find something somewhere. Oh, give us our daily bread. I say that every day because it is given me. I don't have to earn it. I don't earn money. So the bread is given me, but I have to go and get it. So it's a question of weighing up in your head. What I think God calls it the sponsoring thought. In the Conversations with God books, they're brilliant to read. And God says, it's no good affirmations if the sponsoring thought, the one at the very, very bottom, the lowest common denominator, if you like, is a thought that you can't. So that's what I'm working on at the minute, and I think I have achieved. And I think you tell yourself, what have I actually achieved? I've achieved the results. I've got a gold star. If you know what I mean. I feel I've got in myself, no one's had to give me permission. I'm not saying that, nobody does. You have to work at it yourself day and night, day and night, day and night. And it's a question of not giving up really, and affirming that it is the God within that does the works. I mean, I know that over and over again. Today I was really in a lot of pain, and I feel quite tearful now talking about it because I'm fed up with it. I really am fed up with it. And I said, what is pain teaching me? What is it all about? Why do I have to go through this? And I think there are several reasons. I think it is the new energies that are triggering off a lot of stuff. But also I think pain does put you more in touch with the light within. I just thought that today, so that's why I'm doing the video. And I think, well, how does it do that? And I think because when you're really, really struggling through pain, and emotional, mental or physical, any pain is pain, when you're really having to fight really hard to overcome that, that's when the light comes, because you really are already in the light. I mean, at higher levels, you're in the light all the time, but you choose to leave that light to come here to find out and to learn and to, I don't know, not earn it, but it's a question of getting in touch with it more. You're bringing it down, but you can only do that through suffering. I mean, that's just my experience, because there are times I've just been to lie on the bed now and I have an invisible acupuncturist You would laugh at the things I do, honestly. I do a bit of self-massage. I've got this acupuncture I call on him. If I can, I've got the fidgets. If I can sleep long enough for him to give me a healing. That's another story, maybe self-healing. But anyway, I've survived it. I've got my bread, although they only had rolls. My bread and my milk, and I come back, had a lie down, thinking I'll do a video. I feel quite triumphant. I've survived yet another day. So anyway, there we are, dear ones. There's lots more I could talk about really, but do persevere and call on that inner strength. I have a little. I said the affirmation, didn't I? I I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And before I went out my front door, I did my auric thing, and I just centered myself, and I said, "Please help me to have the strength to do what I have to do." And I did. I did it because of my strength of purpose, I think, and not giving in. So don't give in. God bless for now, dear ones. Take care. Bye bye.